his own business and his own store, and you want to tell me a little bit about that and about what it was like for you as a child growing up with a father who had his own business.
My father is my best, or was my best friend. We were inseparable. My father was born in England and came to this country through Ellis Island, and literally came through with nothing. And so everything that he earned in this country was because of hard work. And I watched my father work daily to achieve a very prosperous business. My father was very personable, but he was also very honest and spoke from his heart. I admired the fact that my father came into this country with nothing, and when he left, he had achieved so much that anyone near him would have had to take a notice to see how hard he'd worked and the reputation that he had in his business. As a child, I would go to his store. He was a furrier, and I would go work in his store, and I would watch him with sales and how he talked to people and how he would say the right thing, but say it in the right way because it was meaningful, or be honest and say, this is not for you, let's try this. So he always had an option, a positive, to go with a negative. And I would travel with my father to New York to do buying trips, and that taught me a little bit of the business end of how that worked. And so from my father, I learned a day-to-day existence on how to be successful in what you need to do, and that you have to work for it. And that was the biggest lesson I think I've ever learned in my life. Is I can remember my dad saying to me, if you want something bad enough, you have to find a way to go out and earn it. And being that I love to travel, and my father taught me about traveling and took me to many places, I figured if I wanted to travel and if I wanted to repeat the experience that my father gave me, I needed to find a way to give that experience to my husband and my children. So that's what started me with sales and travel. I've been very fortunate to have been to many, many, many places, and I love to talk about them, and I love to design travel for people, and that's really how it started.
Had you thought before, long before you opened your own business, had you thought about having your own business? Had it been something that, you had thought about for years, or?
No.
Okay.
No, I really had not, because to me, being a mother, I needed to be at home with my children.
That was your priority.
That was my priority when the children were small. And then this door opened to do this outside sales, and I achieved beyond what I was supposed to because of the people that we knew and the experience that I had. And it was literally the encouragement of my husband who said, you really ought to open your own business. So I have to credit him with that.
Well, what would you say are were your biggest challenges in running the business? What were the things that you found I guess, the most frustrating, or maybe things that you didn't expect you would have to deal with as an entrepreneur and as a business owner?
My single biggest challenge turned out to be, as we grew from 2 employees to 8, and then I had several outside sales, was, there are kind of 2 parts to this. The work that I do to design travel for people, individual people, on their own, takes time and a lot of thought and a lot of knowledge and a lot of work to do a day-by-day itinerary and confirm hotels and tell them where to go eat and what to do. And I found as the agency grew, my biggest challenge became personnel. I found that I was having...
Managing them?
Not really managing them, that we were a family and we worked together. We really did have a good relationship, but everybody had their problems at home, or this one would have a money problem, and this one would have a husband problem, and this one would have a child problem. And because we were all so close and worked so well together, they would come to me for their problems. And so I found myself spending more time dealing with their problems than I did with my work. And then we grew and we grew and we grew, and it became a 7-day-a-week job. I couldn't leave it on the weekends. There was always more work to do. We were very fortunate. We were very successful. But you've got to get away from things also to be successful, or you get burned out. So that really was my biggest challenge, that, and then the bookkeeping.
What would you say was your greatest joy, your greatest reward of having your own business, of being an entrepreneur?
My greatest reward is a personal one. It's the achievement, accomplishment of what I've done. I started innocently in travel, majoring in aviation, went to work for United Airlines, took something that I loved, and how many people have the opportunity in life to actually work at something that they totally enjoy, and something that they love. And I still follow the words of my father, who said, find what it is and go out and find a way to get it. The joys of the business also has been sharing with my children and my husband what I love the most. I have been able to take them on unique trips. I've been able to share one-on-one times with them, which to me accomplishes 2 things at one time. It gives me what I need. It exposes them to the world, which to me is very important, to show them other cultures and other ways other than our own. And it has given me special times and special memories, so that when I'm no longer here, my children will think of the good times and the special things that we did. And I work very hard at that. So that to me is the accomplishment, that I have been able to do that on my own. I've earned it, and I've given it, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, I think that you are truly an inspiration to me personally.
Well, you are an inspiration to me too.
Well, I want to really thank you for taking the time to do this with me. It's been very insightful, and I've really enjoyed talking with you about it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for asking me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.